Each candidate will get 20 minutes to introduce themselves, tell you why they're running, and answer a few questions that were submitted by you, the public.
I'm Neimark. Everyone knows me as Link. I've been a scientist, a businessman, and an educator. As an educator, I've learned how to communicate, enlighten, and motivate people to maximize their potential. As a scientist, I've learned to objectively gather information and test hypotheses in order to reach an unbiased logical conclusion. As a businessman, I've learned that problems are really opportunities for innovation and success. Like many in this country, I'm fed up with the inaction, corruption, and petty party politics that have unfortunately become the norm in Washington. Well, as they say, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Representative Zinke's departure has created an opportunity for me to become part of the solution, to get directly involved and make a difference for Montana and the nation.
All right, great. Now we'll start with the questions. This first question comes from Heidi from Hardin, Montana. How do you plan to work with people across the aisle to benefit Montanans?
Okay, excellent question. Regardless of which side of the aisle they sit on, your representatives have a responsibility to do what is best for the people of our country. This is the common ground to begin positive and productive discourse to solve the problems facing our great state. I welcome a variety of perspectives. This broader view can generate greater insight into the problem along with more creative solutions. We're all in this together, and cooperation will be the key to success. It may mean making a few compromises to the action plan without compromising our core Democratic Party values. I have little patience for obstructionist politics. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I think the people of Montana and this country share my belief that it's time for representatives to do what they were elected to do. Represent their constituencies, not their donors, and work together to move this nation forward.
All right, great.
Next question comes from Dayton from Terry, Montana. Montana universities across the state are facing huge budget cuts. How will you contest these cuts and advocate for increased funding from Montana colleges?
Okay. I believe at the University of Montana, the budget for 2017 will likely be cut by $12 million, unfortunately. My understanding is that budget cuts are primarily state funding cuts, not federal funding cuts. Your representative to the Montana legislature would be the best person to speak with regarding these state funding cuts. Federal funds for higher education usually take the form of Pell Grants to disadvantaged students and IDEA grants to students with disabilities. Money that flows directly to the university from the federal government is typically in the form of government contracts and research grants. It is possible that I could be a liaison between the university system and the federal government to ensure that we are maximizing our opportunities to receive these federal grants. I am a staunch advocate of public education. In today's world of technology, a K-12 education is no longer sufficient. Students must obtain college degrees or trade school certifications in order to become productive members of our modern workforce. Our country needs to recognize that helping our young people obtain a higher education is a priority for them and for our society. The federal government needs to step up and contribute more. This could be in the form of tuition subsidies or grants to the universities. Unfortunately, this may be difficult until our priorities in Washington change. For example, currently 65 cents of every tax dollar goes to the military. This country needs to realize that an educated workforce may in fact provide our country more security than another B-1 bomber. If elected, I intend to make that case in Washington.
All right, great. Next question comes from Zach from right here in Venice, Montana. 30% of Montana lands are public lands. How do you plan to take action against the privatization of these public lands?
Congressman Steve Daines and Representative Ryan Zinke have recently signed a resolution that will sell off public lands in Montana. They will like federal lands to become state lands under the guise of states' rights, and then they can take these land parcels and privatize them. These public lands belong to all the people of the state, but Daines and Zinke would put them up for sale to the highest bidder. In other words, your land would become the property of the rich, some who already own huge tracts of private land. Many in the middle class have seen their homes and property transferred in foreclosure to the upper 1%, when in 2008, the banks first caused and then profited from the market crash. Now that upper 1% has its collective eyes on vast tracts of public land. First, tax breaks for the rich have led to budget shortfalls while allowing the rich to retain more of their income. Now, many of those same well-to-do would like to see the budget balanced through the sale of public lands, which they can then purchase with the extra income they retained. Essentially, this is a land grab of the worst kind. One of the best things about Montana is being able to access these public lands and enjoy the wonderful recreational opportunities they provide. Now a greedy few would like to hoard these cherished spaces and lock you out. Public lands exist for the enjoyment and enrichment of all Montanans. They should not be transferred to wealthy corporations and wealthy individuals who might not even be Montanans. As a representative, I would certainly vote against such measures and urge my colleagues to do the same. But it is the people of Montana who must rally to protect their lands and their rights. I would work to inform the public of the stakes in this battle. The upper 1% do have power because, unfortunately, there's far too much money influencing politics. But the other 99% have power in their numbers. I would make sure to announce to the people of Montana that their very lifestyles are at stake. I would also make sure that they knew that their taxes might be raised to cover the burden of firefighting and other activities the federal government now pays for. I would encourage groups like the Sierra Club to rally their memberships as well. It is time that the citizens of Montana stand up and speak out against such injustices. Keeping public lands public may be a goal that can unite our citizens against this and other unfair practices that seek to transfer wealth and rights to that upper 1% who already have so much more than the rest of us.
All right, great.
Next question comes from Stella. 30 plus students from right here at MSU Billings and Rockingham College are from one of the 7 nations that are involved in Trump's travel ban. How will you go about helping these students feel safe pursuing an education in Montana?
Okay. President Trump's misguided efforts to protect America from terrorists have put many Muslims at ill ease. It is important to let these students know that the ban is not against them and not against all Muslims. It is restricted to refugees and immigrants coming from 7 countries deemed to be more likely security risks to this country. For example, Muslims from Saudi Arabia are still welcome to enter the U.S. nor is the ban permanent. Currently, the ban on refugees is 120 days, and the ban on immigrants from the 7 countries is for 3 months. Even this ban has been partially blocked by a federal judge. I think there is a lot that can be done locally. I would be happy to visit MSU-B and meet with the foreign students from these 7 nations and let them know personally that they are welcome in Montana. I would encourage campus student organizations and fellow students to do the same.
All right. The final question comes from Doug from Chinook, Montana. 80% of Montana wheat is sold to TPP nations. How would you fight the adverse effects farmers might face now that America has drawn out of the TPP?
The TPP was a proposed trade agreement between the U.S. and 11 other Pacific Rim trading partners that accounted for 40% of the world economy. Proponents felt it would bolster exports by lowering or eliminating tariffs in other countries. But opponents characterized the TPP as a secret deal, which would favor big business at the expense of U.S. jobs and national sovereignty. It's important to understand that the TPP was not repealed. The TPP was never ratified by Congress. In fact, it was only ratified by one country, Japan. It had not gone into effect. And without participation from the U.S., it will not go into effect. Montana wheat was and is being sold to TPP nations without the TPP treaty. The fact that TPP will not be ratified will not be a detriment to existing wheat sales. Overseas trade missions can help market Montana wheat and bolster sales. Less expansive treaties can and should be negotiated on a country-by-country basis to ensure that Montana wheat exports continue to flourish.
All right, great. That was the final question, so if you want to say anything else, go ahead.
I just like to thank everyone for this opportunity to speak, and I'd like to thank people for considering me for the position, and perhaps if they know people on the nominating committee, I would greatly appreciate anyone who's supporting me to call that member of the nominating committee and let them know to nominate me so I can go to the convention. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.